afternoon and welcome to Dialogue with Deidre. I'm your host, Deidre Malone. Today I'm going to do a special show. I had an opportunity to speak to a group of small business owners at the MMBC Continuum's Economic Development Forum. It was a great opportunity. So thankful that Joselle Lester, the president of MMBC Continuum, invited me to present at their big event this year. And so I was asked to talk about my business, my brand, to give small business owners a crash course on branding. And so I think, most of you know that, the Carter Malone Group is my firm. We're 20 years old, and we are a public relations, marketing, advertising, and government relations firm. And so we were blessed last year, 2022, to win the National Midweek Minority Marketing and Communications Firm of the Year. We were up against various firms from across the country, and the MMBC Continuum nominated us, and we won. So anything the MMBC Continuum asks us to do to support them, we're going to do. And so with that, this is the presentation that I gave at the Economic Development Forum. We talked about branding specifically, but we started with what is marketing, because I think sometimes people are confused. They don't know the difference between marketing, advertising, public relations. And so I walked the participants through what is marketing: the activity or business of promoting and selling products or services, including marketing research and advertising. One of the things I think, people sometimes don't understand that, you may want to start a business, but it's also important to know, how many people in your market are doing the same thing that you want to do. So market research is so key to having a good understanding of the marketplace, okay? So if you're thinking about starting a business, you need to know who else is doing what you want to do in the market. So, so you'll understand whether or not the market is saturated with the types of businesses that you're wanting to do. And so markets research is critical. So what is branding, though? Specifically, promotions, advertising, email blasts, social media, having a website, providing incentives, influencers and testimonials, and packaging. So all of those things encompass what a marketing strategy could look like for your business. One thing I tell new business owners all the time, that I think it's very important for you to have a website, okay? Have a website. Make sure that, and this is a pet peeve of mine, okay? You have a business, Gmail should not be your email domain. Yahoo, AOL should not be your email. It should be whatever the name of your business, either abbreviated or, for example, when I started my business 20 years ago, my website was the Carter Malone Group, because I wanted everybody to understand the name of my business, okay? Maybe about 5 years into the business, I shortened the domain name. But if you Google the Carter Malone Group and you go to the website, you can still get us. But it's now CMG PR. Carter Malone Group is a PR business. So back when I started my business, my email address was dmalone@thecartermalonegroup.com. Today, it's dmalone@cmgpr.com, okay? You have a business, you have a website, make sure that your email address is aligned with your website, okay? So you'll hear about advertising, you'll hear about public relations, you're going to hear about social media as a part of this discussion today, and all of those things are ways that you can market your business. So what is public relations, right? Marketing, back up, marketing, you're going to pay to market your business. A lot of that is not free. And if you do it well, you're going to reap the benefits of your products and your services being utilized by that target market that you're trying to get. So, but what is public relations? Public relations is a strategic communications process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organizations and their publics. PR, which we like to call, is earned media. Okay, it's not something that you have to pay for. Earned media means that you've built a relationship with different media outlets and you have a story to tell, be it you've launched a new product, you've launched a new service, and you want to make sure that the general public knows about it. The way you go is you create a news release, you submit it to those media, very targeted media outlets, and if they pick it up, that's earned media. That's free. You're not paying for it. So, but what is public relations? There are different facets of public relations. There's corporate communications, and that's internal. Can be external too. Media relations, community relations, crisis communications, event marketing, and you're going to hear this again, social media. So before I started the firm, I worked for a corporation. I worked for Alsac St. Jude, and it is the fundraising arm for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And before that, I worked at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which both are internationally known. So when you talk about internal communications, you're talking about what are those messages, be it an email, a internal meeting that you're having a conversation with your staff or the employees about. That's your internal communications. Your external communications is all of those different tactics that you want to use to communicate to those target audiences outside in the world. How do you do that? Through PR, through media relations. You're developing those relationships with your local, your regional, your state, your national media producers and reporters, and getting them to understand what you want them to know about your business. That's the media relations role, okay? Community relations. If you really about your business, you want the folks in your community to know what your business is, what the product is, what the service is. And so you're going to your, neighborhood association meeting. You're going when your city council member is having a town hall meeting. You're going and you're asking if you can have a table so you can share information about your business or your product. That's your community relations. You might even sponsor, like one of our former clients here at CMG is rapper Tyke T. Tyke has a big concert coming up in the next few weeks, and my firm is a sponsor of that particular concert. So getting out there and supporting the community, be it in person or by sponsorship or even having your own event. CMG is known for having an event and inviting clients and folks who you want to be your client to your event. You can do that. That's another way to promote your business. What we're known for, and hate to be known for crisis communications, but I've talked to people in this market and other markets, and they've worked with other firms on public relations. But when it comes to crisis, they'll call our firm because they know that we know how to do it and we know how to do it well. But we want them to call us too when it's not a crisis. But crisis, if you own a business, it's important for you to have a crisis strategy. So when you need it, then you can just roll it out. You don't need to wait until there is a crisis. You need to have a plan that you can just dust off. And if it's 5 years into your business, then at that point, you have that plan and you can just pull it out and you can, activate your crisis plan. It's so important to have one. And then also, social media is another way to promote your business. You can use social media to talk about your services and your products, but you can also use social media to talk about your team members. People want to know who's working with you, who's working for you, but they also want to know the types of clients that you have. So it's a way to really get your business out there and to promote your business. Before you start your business, though, it's important that you have a brand, okay? It is so important that you have a logo that you like and that you love, that you have a tagline that represents your business. So branding is the process of creating a distinct identity for a business in the mind of your target audience and consumers. Branding is made up of a company's name and logo, visual design, mission, and tone of voice. Okay? So, when you think about branding, let's talk about my business. The Carter Malone Group is the name of my business. It's a family-owned business. So, Carter is my maiden name. And, I could have been the Deidre Malone Group or the Malone Group. I could have been the Malone Group. But I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and so it was important to me to include Carter as a tribute to my father's side of the family, which, they were a group of entrepreneurs. And so that's how I came up with the name of my firm. The very first tagline we'd had was communicating your message to the world. I mean, I think big, and so I wanted my firm to have a tagline that spoke to the fact that we may be in Memphis, but we have clients across this country. And at the time we were representing, my first client was the National Baptist Convention, USA. And my third client was the Church of God in Christ denomination. And so with that, they're international, okay? Not just Tennessee, not just the United States of America, but they're international denominations. So, yeah. Did I have the big head? Absolutely, I did. But we were communicating their message to the world. And so after being in business maybe about 7 years, I decided to change the tagline to driven, trusted, proven. Because at that point, we had a track record based on the clients that we had worked with. And it was a proven track record. And, I'm a driven entrepreneur, and so my team's driven as well. So hence, driven, trusted, proven is the tagline for the firm. So think about what you want your brand to be. It's a reflection of you, your voice, your tone, and make it yours. I think that's so important. Advertising. What is advertising? Advertising calls attention of the public to something, typically a product or service. It communicates, promotes a product, brand, or service to a viewership in order to attract interest, engagement. Last but definitely not least, sales. It's all about driving sales. Advertising is, because if you're going to spend money to create a business, you're creating a business so you can take care of yourself. So you want to have sales so you can make sure that your business is successful. So how do you advertise? What are those tactics? You can do TV ads, radio ads, digital ads, social media ads, billboards. And I'm a big proponent, specifically if you have a product, of direct mail. Now, is this expensive? Absolutely, it can be expensive. And, a pitfall for a lot of businesses when money is tight is that the first thing they'll do is they'll look at their budget and they'll cut their marketing and advertising budget. Well, that's the last thing you need to do. Now, you're listening to me and you're saying, okay, Deidre, you're saying that because you own an agency. No, I'm saying that because you don't need to cut your marketing and advertising business, because how do you think you're going to drive sales? right? Word of mouth is good if you have a good network of people that you are used to being around. But word of mouth is not for everyone, okay? If you're an introvert and you don't really know anybody, okay, and you've started a business, then how are you going to drive sales? You need to have enough money set aside in your budget to advertise your business. It could be that you start out with social media ads, targeting, those different types of businesses that are on social media. So your ad will come up in their feed. Okay. But you have to have something. And when business is tough, it's been tough. A lot of us have gone through COVID and businesses have shut down. But still, it is important. If you believe in it and you've been successful and you want to continue to be successful, advertising is important. It is. We're big on integrated marketing communication strategies. We've won awards for our integrated marketing communications campaigns. And when I say integrated, I mean all those things that we've talked about. We've talked about marketing. We've talked about public relations. We're talking about branding. We're talking about advertising, social media, event marketing, email blast, all of those things. When you create an integrated marketing communications plan, that's what I'm talking about. What are you going to do the first 90 days of your business, okay? What does that plan look like? Are you going to drop that news release? You just launched your business. And what's going to come next? What does that strategy look like for that first 90 days? Lay it all out. That is important. Just lay it all out. And then make sure after those 90 days that you have that plan to carry you through the next 6 months. All right, where you're evaluating what's working for you, and whatever's working for you, kick that up, take out what's not working for you in terms of your plan. But an integrated marketing communications plan is so key. It's something that we do I think I've mentioned it's something that we do for our clients. And with that, as I wipe my face, and Megan's going to make sure that there is a slide up when I wipe my face. We do that for all of our clients because we think that it's so important for our clients to know what that plan is and how we're going to make sure that whatever we're doing, they can follow us, right? They can follow us and they have access to the plan. They're looking at what we're looking at, and know when something's going to drop, when something's going to hit. That's going to be key. And we work closely with our clients to make sure that we're on the same page. And so if you're a small business and you're doing this on your own, please create a plan. So what is a cost-effective marketing strategy for a small business? We talked a little bit about this, but I'm going to break it down a little bit more for you. Public relations, earned media, and it's free. All right. You may not have a relationship with any reporters or producers or radio talk show hosts or newspaper reporters, but what you could do is create that news release, send it out, make the phone calls to the different media outlets. Invite a reporter out for some coffee to talk about your business. Invite a producer out for lunch to talk about your business, be it, a print reporter, and get them to understand why you think your business is important to this market. Somebody will pick it up. Social media. As a part of this presentation, I did ask the business owners how many of them had social media platforms, not personal, but for their business. And I think half of the folks raised their hand and said that they had social media platforms for their businesses, and I was really impressed with that. But you can have them, but how often do you update those platforms? You know, you know, I just hired a social media coordinator, so we're up in our game when it comes to social media for CMG. We've always been good when it comes to social media for our clients, but we've not done the best job of promoting CMG. So we're up in that game now and excited about it. But that's how people are going to know what you're doing and the services and products that you offer. So make sure that it is something that you do often when it comes to social media. And if you're like me and you're out and about and you're getting business cards all the time, and it's not really free if you have a Constant Contact or a MailChimp. I think there's a certain level that it may be free, but then at a certain point, then there's a cost depending upon how many names or emails you have in your database. But it's another cost-effective way to market your business. We have a client that we are using Constant Contact for, and she's an attorney, she's a playwright, she does a number of things. And so she has a nonprofit that, and she writes books. She's an author. And so recently we put together an email blast where we sent out to talk about the state, a email blast about her new book, the state of Black women and children in this country. It's cost effective. It's a database that we created. We designed the template for her, and it's a great way for her to communicate to her target audiences of those that have purchased her books, those that are interested in, what she's doing on the speaking circuit, those that are interested in the scripts that she writes for her plays. So it's a really cost-effective way to keep in touch with your target audience. I mentioned word of mouth. We've been doing this a long time, so we get a lot of referrals. People will tell people. If you want someone who understands government relations, if you want a firm that understands crisis communications, if you want a firm that really becomes a partner with you, they'll tell people, well, then call the Carter Malone Group. That is the best type of PR for your business, because you can transition that into testimonials for your website, testimonials for your social media, and making sure that if somebody refers you, they know that you're good at what you do. And so with that, you can leverage that relationship to market your business, and it's cost effective. Website, making sure that your website is up to date and fresh, making sure that you're updating the news releases on your website, having fresh, up to date testimonials, making sure that, and I'll mention this again, that your business email is aligned with your website. That is a pet peeve of mine. Make sure that that's going down and that's happening. Strategic marketing alliances. This is something a small business should do, and I think it's important, is if you have a business relationship, okay? And the example that I used at the workshop was a tourist company that takes visitors from all across the country. They come to Memphis and they take them on tours to historic sites, right? If you are that company, you own that company, then you should have a strategic alliance with the museums or the different locations that are you taking the tourists to. Be it a restaurant that you say is the number one restaurant in the market. Make sure that you're cross-promoting. If you're taking businesses, your clients to these different businesses, it's only right that they help you market your business, because you're definitely marketing theirs. Create those strategic alliances. That's going to be key. In our business, about 11 years ago, Mark McNeely, who was the founder of McNeely, Piggott and Fox at the time, one of the founding partners. The firm now is MP&F Strategic Communications, and Mark has gone on to start a firm with his daughter Kelly. But Mark reached out to me in the western part of the state and reached out to team members in the eastern part of the state at Moxley Carmichael in Knoxville, and then Q Strategies in Chattanooga, and said, hey, let's create the Tennessee Public Relations Alliance. We have our own individual firms. We do our own thing. But there are business opportunities that we want to go after together across the state or nationally. And having that type of alliance has afforded us to do incredible work together. When you think about the fact that if you want to go to a grocery store in Tennessee and buy a bottle of wine, you couldn't have done that without our alliance creating a campaign to try and get the state to change the law so grocery stores can sell wine in their stores. That was the Tennessee Public Relations Alliance. That was a campaign that was a part of our alliance. MP&F, it was their campaign. They brought in the alliance. We worked West Tennessee, and so you can go to Kroger, to Cash Savers now, and buy a bottle of wine. 7 years ago, you couldn't do it in a grocery store. Alliances are important, okay? So if you have an opportunity to have an alliance with another business, make sure that you can do that. So I think I mentioned when we started this show that last year around this time, it was in September. So, and September's right around the corner. I don't know, maybe when this show airs, it'll be September. Yeah. So in September of last year, we were honored to be able to go to Washington, D.C. to be a part of the Med Week, which is a minority economic development week that the United States government, specifically the United States Department of Commerce, holds for minority and women-owned businesses. And we were nominated, and we won the Marketing Communications Firm of the Year. So I had an opportunity to meet the Undersecretary of Commerce for the Minority Business Development, Mr. Don Cravens Jr., and he gave me an award in September. So when I presented to the MMBC Continuum earlier, in August, Undersecretary was here, and so I had a chance to just say hello to him, and it was such an honor to reconnect with him and thank him again for the honor of, elevating our firm at the national level through the U.S. Department of Commerce. So if you are a business owner and you believe in your business and feel like it is a product or service that someone needs and masses could use, it's important that you brand it right. It's important that you elevate that brand through public relations. It's important that you have a budget to market and advertise your business. Nobody's going to be the biggest cheerleader for your business than you, okay? It's your name on the line. It is your face on the line. It is most importantly, your livelihood on the line. And if you're like me, I did this and wanted to build something because, like I said, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I knew that if I couldn't make it with my business, I could always go work for someone else. And that's okay. But I believe that I've built a legacy with the Carter Malone Group that even if my sons don't want it, somebody will. And so thank you so much for this opportunity to share this presentation, My Business, My Brand, Branding Small Business Crash Course for small businesses. I hope you have a great day, and thank you again for watching Dialogue with Deidre. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, and we look forward to seeing you again next Friday. Have a good one.